Hey guys, like my new look? Since Halloween is just around the corner, I figured it'd be fun to do a Halloween themed t-shirt cutting video this week. So I'm going to show you guys how to do the skeleton cutout. Originally I planned it for the back, but you could do it for the front and the back or whatever you'd like. I started off with a solid black extra large t-shirt in men's in American Apparel fit. I cut an inch off the collar and it actually became quite big, so be careful if you don't want it off the shoulders like this. So the first step is to cut off the collar. So I want a wide neck, kind of a loose off the shoulder-ish kind of look. So I'm going to do an inch all the way around, and I'm going to use 2 fingers to kind of measure, eyeball that line that goes all the way around. Once you go halfway, you can fold over the collar and trace the other side. So give it a stretch, and there you go. Next, I'm going to cut off the bottom and try to conserve and save as much fabric as possible, going as close to the thread as you can. Because my shirt had a logo on the back on the inside, and I didn't quite cut all of it off, I'm just going to take an extra step that you guys don't need to do, just to make the back a little bit lower and get rid of the logo. So I'm just going to start with cutting the logo in half in the middle and start my way up to both sides. I'm going to use this to trace on the other side to make sure that the shape is even. So as you can see, it just went a little bit lower there. So what we'll have to do is cut a column down the middle. Starting from the neckline, we're going to cut out big tear shapes, which will go into a V shape and become pointy at the bottom, like this. Show you guys the outlines. That's where I plan to cut. You can do the middle column in a straight line, go all the way down, or you can go gradually into a point. That's going to be like the spine of the shirt. Start with 2-inch wide column that can slowly narrow down into a V. So I'm going to take the middle points of the back of the shirt, have it fold in half, make sure the seams are lined up. So starting from the top, I'm going to make cuts about 1/2 inch apart. If you have a white shirt, it might be helpful for you to flip your shirt inside out, use a normal pen, and just mark out. If it's a black shirt, you'll want to use the sewing chalk. So now we have the beginning of what our spine of the skeleton will be. You'll want to stretch out all the strings. If you started to do it crooked, you can always fix the cuts now by cutting a little bit more on one side. I'm actually going to go back and make them wider because I want each vertebrae to be thicker. When you're starting to cut the ribs on either side, you're going to start with bigger teardrop shaped cuts at the top. And then as you move down, you're going to want them to be shorter, so it will create a V shape towards the end tail of the spine. And you're going to want them to slowly get thinner and thinner. So in the first row, I did a big one, and then the second row, I did a more oval shaped. The third row, I did a really skinny oval, and after that, I started just doing straight cuts across. Make sure you stretch out the hole after each row. The hole will become bigger than you expect, and you don't want any surprises. By double checking before you move on, you can adjust accordingly. It's really important to make sure that the ribs are aligned on both sides. You don't want it to look crooked. So here, I'm creating little holes, and that's where I'm going to start the line for each row, and I'm making sure it corresponds to the other side of the ribs, and I'm making sure that all the holes are in a straight line up the spine. Voila! Here are the 3 columns all cut, so basically this is the finished look. It's up to you guys if you want to customize further. You could weave the spine in the middle if you want to scrunch up and shorten your t-shirt, or if you want each vertebrae to be more of a square rather than a rectangle, you could actually cut out every other string on the spine. For styling, I would recommend a white tank top or a white tube top underneath and white pants. If you wear black pants, it's going to camouflage the cuts at the very bottom so you won't see the ones near your butt. So what's a Halloween skeleton video without some Halloween skeleton makeup? I found an old gel eyeliner from MAC, the fluid line, that I haven't used in a long time because it got dried out. So I added some water, mixed it up, and smeared it all over. I don't have any white face paint, so I used a sample of foundation that I had lying around, and I used bronzer, a cheap one from NYC, to darken the outside of my face and to make my cheeks look more hollow. Scary? If you'd like to see more photos of this t-shirt, check out my Flickr, Salinabear, link in the box below. And if you'd rather read instructions for this tutorial, I'm going to be typing out the step-by-step instructions and adding photos and putting that on my personal blog, so you can also check out that link in the description box below. Thanks for watching, you guys. Happy Halloween!